Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is Joshua Arce at Joshua Reviews, Movies, and More. And today we have a DC update. I know it's been quite a while, but I thought that I would whip one out real quick here on the weekend before the Super Bowl and all the trailers release and all the chaos happens. Thank you all so much for clicking on this video and watching. Please make sure to subscribe, leave a like on the video. Today we're going to be talking about James Gunn possibly directing Batman Brave and the Bold, Superman being a financial flop, the new composer for Supergirl, and more. Possibly Zack Snyder and David Ayer teaming up on a movie soon. There's been a lot, so let's go ahead and get into the video. And yeah. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, the first thing that I want to talk about is Superman being a financial flop at the box office. So Ted Sarandos has indicated that Superman's short window from theatrical to digital release was due to underperformance. Ted Sarandos was at a committee hearing. He was under oath. He was at a courthouse, and he was talking about taking over Warner Brothers and etc. and talking about the movie business in general. And he said, "quote." Routinely, movies that underperform, the window moves a little bit. Superman was a little shorter window. Sinners was a little longer window. Now, shout out Sinners. I personally haven't seen it yet, but I know people have found it to be very, very good. So congrats to everyone who worked on that film. Look, I do have my critiques with Superman. Um, I'm never going to say that a movie deserved the bomb at the box office or whatever, because it does genuinely take a lot to make these movies happen. And Superman being one of those movies was just unfortunate. But you know, I have my flaws with the movie, but I did find it enjoyable. And yeah, so Ted Sarandos said that Superman underperformed at the box office. So we're gonna see what the trajectory is like for the DCU moving forward under Netflix. We have Supergirl coming up, so yeah, let's go ahead and get into the next bit of news. So Zack Snyder dropped a new cinematic behind-the-scenes look at Ben Affleck's Batman. He said, "quote wide lens, dark night," and then the camera that he was using. I love Ben Affleck's Batman. He is one of my favorite iterations of the character. He is so unbelievably cool, and I do wish that he was done justice in The Flash, and etc. Because that was the last time that we saw him, and will probably be the last time that we ever see him. But who knows? I still hold out hope that someday we will see these characters back on our screen again under Zach. But let's go ahead and get into our next bit of news. So, Paradise Lost has reportedly been shelved at DC Studios. DC Studios reportedly met with writers and heard pitches, but they were told that it is canceled. Now, um, this is unfortunate. When Gunn made the Slate video way back back in 2023, I believe, he described this show to be a lot like Game of Thrones. Apparently, it's not going to be the case anymore because it's no longer happening. That Slate video in general just seems to be completely pointless now because we haven't gotten any updates on The Authority, Waller, and now Paradise Lost is shelved. So the trajectory of the DCU is very questionable right now. We don't really know what's happening. It's sort of at a pause. We know that Man of Tomorrow is about to go into production, and I have something in regards to that in today's video. But yeah, Paradise Lost shelved at DC Studios. Let me know what you guys think about this down in the comments. And yeah, let's go ahead and get into our next bit. So, as I was talking about Man of Tomorrow getting into production soon, Nicholas Hoult has been seen getting back into Lex shape, working out with Paolo Maschieri for Man of Tomorrow. That is, the trainer that everyone works with. He worked with the whole cast on Superman. You know, I thought Nick did a great job performing Lex and Superman. I thought he did a wonderful, wonderful job. And obviously, I rewatched the X-Men movies lately, and he is such a fantastic beast. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into our next bit of news. Man of Tomorrow is about to go into production very, very soon. So Clayface is now releasing on October 23rd, 2026. It's been pushed back a little bit. I guess they need a little more time to work on the film and the VFX and whatever. I'm pretty sure the film's already wrapped production. This movie has a very interesting premise and very, very interesting concept. A sort of body horror thriller movie set within the DC universe is very fun. I genuinely can't wait for it. Normally, I'm not too big of a fan of horror, but I'm definitely going to be going and seeing this movie. I am liking the sort of variety of tone within the DCU so far. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into our next piece of news. So Junkie XL, who's known for working on the likes of Batman versus Superman, Zack Snyder's Justice League, the Sonic movies, he recently just did the Rebel Moon movies with Zack not too long ago. He is now set to produce the score for Supergirl. Ramin Djawadi was previously attached as the composer, but I guess that's no longer happening. But according to IMDb, Junkie XL is now going to be taking over that score. I genuinely can't wait to see what he does in this movie. All of his scores are amazing. I have some of his scores on my playlist on Spotify. It's genuinely, he's genuinely such a good composer and musician. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get into our next piece of news. So, Angel Manuel Soto says his Blue Beetle chapter is not over yet. He went on to say, quote, "I don't think that chapter has been closed." Soto also confirmed that he's had a conversation with DC leadership and says he'd love nothing more than to continue with the Reyes family via sequels or animation. We do know that there's a Blue Beetle animation series in the works. I don't remember if it was a series or if it was a movie, but I know that Xolo Maridueña is confirmed to return as Blue Beetle. So it would only make sense that Angel Manuel Soto returned as well to direct or produce or whatever he's affiliated with that project that they're currently working on. I enjoyed Blue Beetle. It's one of my most favorite, recent DC projects over the past few years, and I really, really loved it, especially being Latino as well. And there are so many things within that movie that I related to. And yeah, it was such a fun experience, and I can't wait to see this character on our screen again. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into our next bit of news. Supergirl will be teased Sunday at the Puppy Bowl. They did this last year, I believe, as well with Superman. I guess obviously since Crypto's in the film, this is sort of a ploy that they've been using. Um, I genuinely can't wait for Supergirl. I have my skepticisms for sure. Everyone who's a fan of the channel knows that I have my skepticisms of the DCU in general. But Supergirl is one of those movies. But look, I hope that it's great. I hope that any DC movie that comes our way is great. And I'm allowed to have my skepticisms and opinions. And yeah, Millie Alcock is such a great casting as that character, and I can't wait to see what she does with the character. We saw a glimpse of her at the end of Superman. And yeah, let's go ahead and get into our next piece of news. So, as I stated in the beginning of this video, Zack Snyder, David Ayer, they've been teasing a lot of stuff lately, and they were recently just seen together at dinner. And David Ayer posted, it was nice seeing an old friend, and the look on their face sort of gives there's something going on behind the scenes. I would love, love, love to see the Air cut released. That's something that I would really, really want under this new leadership at DC. I mean, Gunn said it was possible a few years ago, and I just really, really hope that we get to see the light of day one day. I know on Zach's post, one of the people that were, one of the guests that Zach had over for dinner. Sorry. I guess she's a famous actress or something. She was responding to comments of the David Ayer possible of the Air cut possibly getting released, and it's very, very intriguing so far. So I can't wait to see what happens within the next few months, within the next few years. I would really love to see these two back at DC. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into our next piece of news. So the Jimmy Olsen led series was reportedly set to begin production this spring in Atlanta. We don't really know the title of the thing yet, so everyone's just calling it Jimmy Olsen. Um, so yeah, look, I'm very intrigued to see where this could go. It's a Jimmy Olsen led series. Jimmy was one of the highlights of the last film in Superman. So it'll be fun to see where this goes. Skylar Gazandu is such a great casting as that character, and I can't wait to see what he does in this series. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into our last piece of news, which is James Gunn possibly directing Batman Brave and the Bold. Let's go ahead and talk about this. So, like I said, James Gunn is looking to direct Batman Brave and the Bold. Well, not looking, it's being reported that he is going to be directing Batman Brave and the Bold. Jeff Snyder, who broke the story of Christina Hudson writing the Batman Brave and the Bold, which is a huge thing that we're also going to be talking about, has hinted that James Gunn might be actually directing the movie after Man of Tomorrow. I'm going to keep this very short and light. I do not want this to happen. I do not think James Gunn is right for the character of Batman. Um, his humor and everything that he loves to smudge into his movies just doesn't work for a Batman movie, in my opinion. We have made Batman such a seriously taken character over the past few years, and it would just be a sort of whiplash to sort of turn him into a joke. And Gunn has a habit of doing that with his comic book characters. I mean, just look at what he did with Drax in the Guardians movies, a very serious character in the comics, and then turned him into a total joke. Look, um, I admire James Gunn as a filmmaker. I think he's made some great stuff. Obviously, I haven't been too big of a fan of his DC work, but his Guardians movies are always going to be amazing, and I love the work that he did over there at Marvel. And I just really hope that the DCU goes well and it wins me over within the next few years if it continues. And I would just really, really want someone who really appreciates the character of Batman to take on this movie. Because I'm not going to get into it, but James Gunn has made some questionable quotes on Batman in the past that I'm not necessarily going to get into. You guys can go look them up for yourself. But one person who's been interested in directing a DCU movie is Sam Raimi. He has been very vocal about wanting to direct a movie within the DCU. He said that if the right project and the right script comes along, then he would probably want to do it. And I think Batman Brave and the Bold is the perfect opportunity to squeeze him in. I mean, could you imagine a Sam Raimi Batman movie? I think that would be so unbelievably cool. We all know what he does with comic book movies. He admires this genre so much, and obviously he gave us the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies, which sort of set the foundation for this whole thing that we have today with Marvel and DC. That was sort of the founding father of this genre, and obviously the Michael Keaton Batman movies and etc. But yeah, and he, the last comic book movie that he did was Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, which wasn't received too well, but that was due to complications behind the scenes and etc. And script, just chaos. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about this. Let me know what you guys would want to direct Batman Brave and the Bold. Would you want James Gunn to direct? Would you want Sam Raimi? Would you want someone else? Would you want Andy Muschietti, who's currently attached, to direct that movie? We know that Andy Muschietti is currently working on developing new seasons of HBO's Welcome to Derry. Welcome to Derry. So that's been a very beloved show, and he's obviously going to be working on that. For the next few years. So who knows? Maybe James Gunn might take his place. Um, we don't know. But anyway, I have been Joshua Arce, Joshua Reviews Movies and More. This has been my DC update. Please make sure to comment down below your thoughts on this news. And yeah, please make sure to subscribe, leave a like on the video, please share with friends and family. And yeah, I've been Joshua Arce, Joshua Reviews Movies and More. Take care and peace.